We're going to continue from where we left off in the previous video to explain how we can convert our spreadsheets into something that is more dynamic. So before we go ahead and do that, let's take a simple example. So I have four set of tasks here. I've done the formulas, right? So let's say I want to add one more task into this, and I'm going to provide a value. So there you go. The formula does not pull down by itself. I have to go and manually drag the formula down. So that becomes a manual task, right? So within this spreadsheet, I have one manual task. That's fine, right? I still managed to do it. But let's say the values in this particular sheet are referenced in other sheets or in other files altogether. So over there as well, we would need to manually go and change the formulas. So that would not be a great way to go about it. So let's see how we can make this a lot more dynamic, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to select the bunch of cells, whatever is available right now, and then I'll go to the insert tab and I'll click on table, right? Okay, I'll click on that. So let's see what information is over here. It says, okay, where is your data? Data is from B5 to D10. Perfect, that's right, B5 to D10. And it says my table has headers. Yes, it has headers. Service, cost, price, report are the headers. So I go and click OK. So the first change that we see is that I have filters that have come up. That's fine. And then I also see that some formatting has come up here at the bottom. So what I'll go and do is I'll remove all the existing formatting that was put there. So I'll go to the home tab and remove all the borders and get rid of all the colors and stuff. Okay, so I'm left with a very unique formatting here. So where is this formatting coming from? So if you go to the home tab, you'll find a formatting option for table, and you will have a bunch of options here. So the one that is selected is what you see. So you can go ahead and change to the one that you like. Okay, that's fine. So let's see the real benefits of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more block here. I'm going to call it as task F. There you go. You notice that immediately I get the formula dragged down. So which is a major benefit, right? So then let's say I put a value here. There you go. So even if I had a whole bunch of columns with calculations, all of them would automatically get dragged down and would get calculated based on your inputs, right? So let me just go and add one more, and perfect, it works really great, and even the formatting looks really good. Okay, so this is a major benefit that you have within your spreadsheet. So let's see how this is actually working in the background. So if you click on your particular table and then let's say we go into the formulas tab and define name, right? So if you go into this particular window, you see that a new reference has come in here. We did not create it manually, so it got created when we added the table. So it's calling itself as table 4, and then we see that the reference is basically the information that we have within the table. So that is B5 to D12, correct? Yeah. So this cannot be manually modified. So what happens is as you keep adding the data, the reference keeps changing, right? So if I want to go and rename it, I don't go and do it over here. I can go and do it using the table tab. So you click anywhere within the table. So you will have a new table tab showing up here. So you click on the table tab and you go and change the table name. So if you want to go and change it, so you can say quotation. Yeah, so you can go and change the name over there, so make it a little more meaningful. So we can do that. So we have gone and changed the name, and there are a few bunch of options as well within the table tab which you can actually explore. So one thing that I like a lot is the insert slicer option. So rather than using these filters, you can have a slicer. So for this particular thing, I'll select service as a slicer and I'll click OK to that. So this is what we get. We get a very dynamic filter over here. So I can drag it and place it at a corner, right? and then I can select the ones that I need. So here I have an option to multi-select. So I'll select that. I'll say I want to see task A and okay, so for here I'm just removing everything for now. And let's say I want to have task A and B removed. Okay, let me just remove this first. Okay. So here I'm selecting only task A. If I do multi-select, I can select task A and task B. So I can go in and do that. So this is another way instead of using the filter. And if you don't want the filters to show up as well, you can go in to the data, to the table tab, and you can remove the filter button if you don't want the filters to show up. So there are a bunch of options there that you can actually use, right? So basically one of the biggest differences is that because benefits, basically your data sheet becomes a lot more dynamic, the calculations become easier to handle, and your entire table is referenced by a name, which we'll be understanding how we can use them in the later videos.